I want to talk about economics problem. Even some people said that I should not talk about politics, about economics, because you are a farmer, you don't know well about that. You need to let people who know it very well, like economists or politician people, let them talk because they know better than you. But actually, economics has a lot of impact on me. When I have the problem with economics, I have feeling, I have thinking too. Even my thinking is not right in the theory of the economic system, but it's a feeling, it's an experience from people who have impact from it. What do we think? Especially farmer or people who are poor people like us. Nobody want to hear our voice because they think we are uneducated. We are not clever enough. We don't know it good enough. I think I like to talk about it because I want to reflect the thinking of the people who were ignored by the public for a long time. What do they think about it? The economics problem is in the hand of specialists, in the hand of people who know very well about economics for a long time. But what happened is, it looked like an economic growth sometime, but people still the same. Majority people are people who have low income like us. We still have big impact. We still have a lot of debt. Nobody solved our problem yet. That's why I want to talk about it. The normal way that the government or economists try to do, mainly they try to train people to serve the economic sector, the business sector. So people will be like a one factor of production system. That's why humans were trained to be a robot. Because in the business system, in the industrial system, they want robot, they don't want human. Robot is a person who don't think about yourself. Just keep working and working. Follow the instruction and keep working and working. So that's the way they have been doing. They train so many people to be a good robot, to be a person who will go to serve the industrial or the business sector. So many young people from the village, they moved to the education system for almost 20 years, and then they moved to the factory, moved to the industrial sector. The village feels very quiet. There's no young people left in the village, only old people and children. What happened is those people, when they get a job, they have very low payment. They become a cheap labor. Even they study so much. They study almost 20 years, or some people longer than 20 years. They spend so much money to train themselves to be able to work in the economic system, in the business system. And then when they work, they just sit and then turn the screw in the factory 8 hours per day. Turn the screw in the factory. Do the same thing over and over. 8 hours per day. And one day, if something happened, economics not very good, the business cannot go on. So they were fired, they were laid out. And they have no job. So these people, they cannot help themselves. After they have no job, they become jobless. How can people become jobless when they learn so much? How can humans stuck with their life? They don't know what they can eat. They don't know how to stay because they have no money. So this is the way we degrade human ability. We chain normal human into a robot. But the real robot, when they close down the factory, the business, the robot just stays still. They don't move. But human, we were trained to be a robot. But when we have no job, we still want to eat. We want water. We want room to stay. We still have more need. And then it becomes a problem. And then we don't know how to solve this problem. This is a big problem that we saw. The way they solve the economics problem now, they train people to serve the business sector. And then they train too much mainly, and it is oversupplied. This is one thing that I think is a problem. The second thing is, when they try to solve the problem in the normal way, they just look at the GDP. If GDP high, that means good. But if GDP low, that's bad. So they need to work hard to make GDP go up or increase GDP. That's the way they try to do it. But in the reality, when the GDP high, they said, economy is good. It's good in a small group of people, a small group of corporations who own most of the business. But in general, people have low income. Most of people become cheap labor. Even they said, we create a lot of jobs. But what's the meaning of job with small income, with less income? Even when the economics grow high, GDP go high, people work more. They get more money, but it's not enough to make their life better. And then when they talk about GDP, they just talk about the good side of it. They talk about GDP is high, that means we are good, we're doing well. But the government never talk about the negative side of the GDP high. The negative side of it is, when GDP high, this means people work harder, work more. When they work more, they get more tired. They have less time to rest. And they have health problem. And they have mental problem. They need to drink more, buy more, consume more. So even they get more money, but the money go out more too. So it creates health problem and mental problem. When people work harder, they have less time to be with family. No time to be with their children, with their family. And their children grow up without love and attention. They feel empty, they feel bad. So those kids, those children cause more problem in the long-term future in the society. We never think about that. And in the same time, when the economy grow high, GDP grow high, that means we need to consume more natural resources. Our natural resources will shrink, will decrease faster. And then whenever we produce a lot, we have to make more trash, more garbage, and pollute more environment system. This is a bad side of it. It costs a lot, but the cost of this problem is on the shoulder of everybody, not on the shoulder of the company, the corporation. They never think that the government never talk about this problem. So the way they manage the economy's problem now is just follow the GDP. But for villagers like us, we question why we care so much about GDP, but why we don't care about the happiness, the quality of life of people. So for us to solve the economics problem in a sustainable way, we think about to solve the problem of people, not the economics. We need to support people to develop themselves, to be able to help themselves, to be strong, to be proud of themselves, to be able to rely on themselves. If we support people to be strong, and then can rely on themselves, they don't need help much from the government. For example, if I'm a farmer, I love to grow rice. So if the government wants to solve the economic problem in a sustainable way, the government needs to support me, to help me to develop a variety of rice that I love, to help me, support me to develop the best quality of rice that I can do it. And then I can develop the technique how to grow rice with less investment. And then I will get support to develop my rice into some products. For example, I can make cracker, I can make whiskey, I can make vinegar, I can make a lot of processed food, processed product from rice, and I can sell it. I can have my own business. So if government support me to be able to create my own business like this, it will help many people develop themselves to be self-independent business owner. In my village, maybe have 5 or 6 people who have their own varieties of rice. Maybe have 5 or 10 people who can process the products from their area into the products in the market. They maybe make some dessert, some snack, or some food. Some people maybe invent some engine, do some artwork, do things like that. So many people will develop what they like, what they love, and make it into small business. So in this way, the government don't need to invest a lot of money to help people, to support people to do like this. Because it's people, they do things because of they love it. When they do everything with love, they always dedicate to it. They always make it good. So it will be the best. When they do with love, it's always get attention from people around. So they will survive for sure. Because when you do it with love, it's always the best. Everybody want to enjoy it, want to taste it, want to try it. So if we develop in this way, everybody will be unique. Every village, every town, every part of the country will be unique. If you come to this village, you get this kind of food. You can try this kind of rice. If you go to another village, you have another thing. It's not the same thing. So it will generate diversity of business everywhere. We will have so many 100 kinds of food everywhere. We will have so many 100 kinds of drinks everywhere. So many 100 kinds of artwork, a lot of machine, a lot of things everywhere. It will be diversity everywhere. So that's the way we can be strong, we can be proud of ourselves. I will feel proud of myself that I'm a farmer. I can develop this kind of rice. It's the best rice. This variety is the best variety. I develop it with my own hands. I feel proud of it. And I feel happy that I can share that with other people. When people eat it, they feel like, wow, tastes so good. So this is the way we rely on each other. We help, we support each other. If we generate this kind of business, everybody will get benefit. No people become jobless. If we develop ourselves in this way, it will create the atmosphere of creative culture. Everybody wants to create something, to own something, to be able to specialize in something. So it will create another kind of atmosphere, make people have fun to experiment, to try something more and more and more. But now, when you look at the whole country, everywhere you go in Thailand, you always see Coke, Pepsi, and Sprite, and a few other drinks. And when you look at the food, it's always the same food everywhere. Everywhere you go, you can order the same food everywhere in Thailand. And in the whole Thailand, everybody eat one variety of chicken, one variety of pork, one variety of eggs. So there's no diversity. That means it was controlled by small amount of people who control everybody's life, who take money, take labor costs from everybody in the country to put in their pocket. So that's why we have so many problems we cannot solve now. But if the government, the leader of the country, want to develop the economy, to solve the economic's problem in a sustainable way, the government need to step out. Don't think for people. Don't make a big project and put on the head of people. Let them think, let them do. The job of the government is just wait to see what do people need help. They need help about information, about technology, about anything. The government just help when they ask for help. If the government step out like this, step back like this, it will make people develop and grow in different direction. Because there's so many million people in the country, each people have different idea. But if the government make the policy alone, there's small group of less than 100 people in the government who plan, who think about everything to make the policy for people. So it's monopolize the thinking. So that's why many policy is most of policy that from the government cause a lot of problem, because they think for other people. They don't know people will like it or not. But mostly the policy from the government is benefit the big corporation. It did not benefit most of population in the world, in the country. Like they have the policy to support people to grow rubber. So the government used tax money to support this project. So anybody who want to grow rubber, they will get some money to support. And then after that, a lot of people grow rubber and the price of rubber drop immediately. Not really long, they create a new policy, support everybody to grow sugar cane. And when everybody grows sugar cane, the price of sugar cane drop. This is the way they use our tax, use our land, use our labor to produce cheap raw material to feed the corporation who support the government. So any big policy is not for people, it's for big corporations who are behind government. So the best way to solve the problem is government need to be small, work less, step out from people. Just keep listen to what people need. Just support them. That's so easy. Intervene people's life as less as they can. That is the good way to solve economic problem. Because when people feel independent, they have a lot of imagination. They have a lot of good idea. They want to try many things. And then if they get enough support, they can develop it fast and good. So this is what we want. We want government to step back and to just support what we need. Don't think for us. So if the government do like this, they will spend less money. And government can decrease the government official worker a lot. Because when people have freedom to develop themselves in the way they want to be, in what they want to do, they invest their own money, they invest their own thinking, their own labor to do it a lot. They will ask for what they cannot help only. So that's why they can grow fast with less expense. In this way, we can decrease tax in the country. So people don't need to pay a lot of tax, because tax money will be used to support the corporation mainly. That's what the government do. So if the government let people do it, they spend less money. This is a kind of solving problem, economic solving problem that we wanted. But no government want to do that, because they cannot control. They want us to be a robot. They want us to be like a donkey. The donkey, people just tie carrot in the end of the stick and then push it in the front of donkey. So the donkey will walk after carrot. Where they want the donkey to turn, they just turn carrot. That is the government want us to be. But do we want to be a donkey? Why do we need to walk after carrot? If we want carrot, we can grow carrot. And then we don't need to eat only carrot. We can eat yam, eat potato, we can eat mango, we can eat coconut, we can eat watermelon. We can grow so many things that we want to eat. But the government don't want us to know that we can grow everything that we want to eat. They want us to eat only carrot. That's why the whole world, there's less and less variety of food left in the market that people eat all the time. So when the government don't want to solve this problem seriously, what can we do? What we can do is we need to come back to ourselves. So think about, what do we like? What do we love? We need to develop ourselves by ourselves. And when we try to do it with love, with our strong attention, everything will be developed fast. We will know it very well, and then we can create our own products. We can create our own market. We can create our own communities. We can create our own society. If we don't think like this, what can we do? We cannot expect the government will help us anymore, because government is not the people who work for us anymore. We can look back in the history. When did the government work for people? If they work for people, why humans have to be in debt more and more and more? The number of poor people increase more and more and more. That means nobody worked to solve this problem. That's the reason we need to come back to ourselves. This is the way to solve the economics problem in villages thinking. We want it, and we have to do it ourselves.